Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and my second video in the body image series. I'm here with my dad.
Hi.
And we are going to be talking about body image and where it all starts, which is the home with parents and family, etc. There are many things that impact children's body image, obviously including social media, society and peers, but many children aren't exposed to social media and, you know, society's views on what they should be because they get all that through their parents. According to an article by Family Doctor, parents play a critical role in helping children develop a positive body image and obviously high self-esteem and just self-esteem in general. But children learn by copying. That's how we learn, that's how everyone learns. And when they see their parent frown or look unhappy or talk negatively about their own body, it can teach their kids to do the same. As well as actually something that was interesting they mentioned was about eat till the plate's empty concept, rather than teaching your kids if they're actually full or satisfied. Because I know I definitely grew up being like, I gotta eat my whole plate and that's when I'm done. Where I'm learning now that I don't necessarily need to eat my whole plate to be full, especially if I serve it myself and give myself a little bit too much. Or sometimes I don't need that much. And then, you know, you can always do the whole, like, the 20-minute thing, where if you're still hungry in 20 minutes, you gotta eat the rest of your dinner and then, you know, dessert or whatever if you have dessert. But that's just something that is interesting to know. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Well, certainly. Look, as you mentioned at the start there, for the first 5 or 6 years, your parents are your world. It's understandable that, yes, that they will copy. Yeah. And in fact, one of those things is when you come 2 and 3 and you see them starting to actually then do exactly what you do. And when they play what you see you doing. Yeah. If daddy goes to work or mummy goes to work, when they play their games, mummy goes to work and daddy goes to work. Yeah. They will copy you. So that's just it. And
it's the exact same thing with the way they perceive themselves. Parents, there's obviously a bunch of research done on it, that kids will copy the behaviour you do. If you comment on your body and how you look and looking in the mirror and seeing you negatively view yourself and you show that to your children, it can affect them. I really wanted to have my dad on here because I wanted to talk about how he dealt with body image as children, but also because he didn't. Because we never, like, I have 2 older brothers and we, obviously I can't speak for them, but you and mum never really, like, I didn't have any body image problems until I got to high school and was like exposed to a lot more like social media and peers and the ideal body types that we're meant to have, because we never really,
it was never part of. We were never saying, oh, you have to be skinny or you have to be this or you have to be that. You did what you wanted to do because that's what you wanted to do. Yeah. I mean, you went to dance because you wanted to dance. It wasn't because you were a girl and it was because you looked cute in this or that. You danced because you wanted to dance. The boys wanted to play sports, they played sports. If they wanted to dance, they could have danced. If you wanted to play sport, you could have played sport.
I never wanted to play sport.
But you did once.
I tried out for a volleyball team once, I didn't make it, and then I never again. I was actually just talking to mum before about the fact that I, as a child, was what mum liked to call, had puppy fat, baby fat, but I wasn't the smallest kid. I was actually a tall child, compared to everyone else. Now all of them are taller than me, but we're talking about how I was tall and also had like the baby fat on me, so I was a lot bigger than a lot of the other girls I was dancing with. All the other girls I was dancing with, I was a lot bigger in multiple aspects, but it was never something that you guys talked about.
We never talked about it.
Yeah, it was never.
But we always knew. I mean, we've been around dance studios ourselves enough to know. Classes like ballet, all the girls have to look the same.
In professional level.
In professional level, yeah. But, you know, unfortunately, no matter how much you try, there is always people who are playing for gold medals, even if they're only 6 years old, you know, so, you know, but that was never our thing to try to make you play for a gold medal at 6 years old.
I never did solos anyway, even when I could, like, even when...
Yeah, but even so, the core is all supposed to look...
The same,
The same, you know, but it was no, the same to us was, is your hair the same? Are you wearing the same costumes? Are you doing the same?
Is your eyeshadow the same?
That's it. That's
got your
the same.
wings.
they're all still going to be different shapes.
And I think that was obviously, it's definitely a testament to you as parents, but also to my dance teachers, because I think especially for I went to a family-run dance studio, and I know their mentality was very much the same as you, which is you want to dance, you dance. It doesn't matter who you are or what.
That's right.
To get onto their Stedford teams, like their competition teams, you had to ask. That was it.
Yep.
You're like, I want to perform, and they were like, okay. They chose what dances you were in and how many you were in, but you were on the team.
You wanted to play.
I wanted to dance, so again, in their eyes, I danced.
That's what it was.
I knew I was bigger, but like I said, it was never something that was really worrying. You never thought about the like.
No. So look, growing up, everyone is going to be different, and they're all going to grow at different rates.
Yeah.
Right? You've already said that you grew up yourself early.
Yeah, in height-wise, yeah.
I was the opposite.
Yeah.
At high school, I was one of the shortest ones in my class.
I did want to mention, because going on, like, we want to talk about this stuff, observing some things. I told Mum and she thought it was very interesting, which is that you, obviously not when we were younger, but especially in the past few years, as jokes, but in a way, still things, you call yourself fat and ugly, and you remind me and Mum every day that we're beautiful.
Yes, all the time.
Which is, but it's very, like, it's very, you know, we tell you that you're not, and you're like, yeah, whatever. But he calls himself fat and ugly, and he tells his rest of his family that they're beautiful.
Yes.
Which is derogatory to yourself.
Yeah, but that's also telling myself that I know I need to actually get out there and lose the weight.
But do you need to? Do you want to?
Oh, I definitely need to lose it.
Definitely need to lose it?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, when I took Jason over to Europe, I got myself into shape to go, and it was so much more comfortable. I'm uncomfortable at the moment with the bit of extra COVID kilos I've put on.
Yeah, so am I.
So, you know, I'm telling myself,
that you
get off your butt and do it.
Do you find it hard to hear me saying things, I don't like my body, or like I feel uncomfortable because I don't feel beautiful? But isn't that like the same thing? You know, you're saying it, and then, you know, that makes us feel, you know, it's like, oh, you know. You know, but then you're saying it to yourself, and you're saying we're beautiful, but you can't see yourself as beautiful. You know, is that ever...
No, that's never been an issue.
You see you're beautiful?
No, I know I can be if I wanted to. If I, you know, because like when I lost the weight and I was...
Then you were happy.
I was happier and moving fine. I thought, not too bad. Not too shabby.
Not too bad.
Not too bad, you know. But I've got to get there.
Right, so you want to work for it.
It's a motivational tool.
But you can't be beautiful now?
No, not at the moment.
Is that just because of how you feel?
Yeah, this is how I feel at the moment.
That's how you feel, not necessarily what the truth is, right? That's what...
No, I think there's a bit the objective reality there. I mean, like when you've got a bit of a belly, it's, you know, there's objective reality.
Yeah, but that's not saying you can't be beautiful.
Oh, if we're talking just about beautiful person as opposed to just skin deep, then yes, you can still be a beautiful person.
So you raised 2 males and a female. Do you have any advice for other parents or even children who are growing up, I guess? Or parents who may see things?
Yeah,
or...
I mean, you are right. You did touch on it before. Kids do copy. So it's a rehearsal. You're rehearsing what they're going to be like as an adult. You're not going to be perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes, and there's some things I wish I didn't do. You know?
Like what?
No, that's all right. Whatever you do, they're going to copy. Kids will do exactly what you do. In fact,
you own up to your mistakes.
You've got to own up to the mistakes and say, look, I did that wrong, and, you know, you don't have to be perfect.
You've got to teach your kids that you aren't perfect.
That's right. Don't let ego get in the road of everything. Yeah, and if you do make a mistake, and you will make a mistake, tell them that you made a mistake. Doesn't matter if they're 5 or 6 or 16. Okay, so the problem of body image has been around for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Right? But the one thing that this generation's had to deal with that we've never had experience with was social media. We just do not understand the impact it has on their lives. We had media, but media was controlled media. It was broadcast media. It was
the
news, the MTV and all
magazines
and stuff. But it was edited and there were gatekeepers and stuff, and that had some sort of control. It was really our peer group.
I guess the other thing is that the editing software they had was only accessible to, you know, the big magazine labels and like...
Correct, yeah, I mean, they still edited the photos, but you needed... I mean, like, they still photoshopped the photos back in the 80s, but not to the same extent where you can now do it on your home laptop, you know?
Even on your phone with the Instagram filters that exist and the stuff. You just pose it and they change your whole face. Get rid of all your
get all the imperfections yes.
that you have on your face, which
smooth out your skin,
completely normal, and they like change your eye color and like that's not me. That's not who I am. This is me.
That's not much of a body image. It's body dimorphism. You know, like that's a real. That's a very real mental illness. Seeing what you are actually there.
It's teaching young, impressionable people, and even just people in general, that this is what they should be looking like, which is not true at all, but they're like, oh, this is beauty, so I'm not beautiful. I can't be, because this is what is beautiful. I don't think I myself have realised the impact that social media has had on me, because it really wasn't.
You weren't ready for it. It
wasn't really until I was exposed to social media, I guess, that I really started to have the more like common body image problems. And I've never really suffered from any actual mental illness, but just normally. I myself didn't realize the impact it had on my body image. So that's definitely something also to look out for in terms of when you're like even starting to realize that you might not like your body, which is kind of
just remember that all that social media stuff, that's a highlight reel. That's not 24/7. They don't look like that 24/7. In fact, they probably don't even look like that, because that's all been photoshopped.
You know, they have the right angles, the right light to make them look themselves better than they might actually do in person. You know, they still look as gorgeous as they do on screen. It's just the way they're positioned is so.
It's a highlight. They've deliberately done the work to make themselves look good.
Yeah, so, obviously, and I do, I did read something as well, which was, even though people know these photos have been photoshopped, or like, not photoshopped, but like edited.
Edited, yes.
They still want themselves to look like that.
Yeah, it's because they want the accolade that they can see that would come with it.
Yeah,
that's what they want. You know, and that's why they edited it to look like that, because it's an ideal that everybody wants,
and no one can achieve.
And no one can achieve.
That comes with a whole lot of health problems.
Yeah, you can't achieve it.
You have organs, and your organs need to fit in your body. And it is interesting that, you know, people still know it's edited and they still feel like they want to attain it.
Yes.
And that's the way it is, which sucks, because it shouldn't be. I did think it was interesting though. We'll talk about. I guess we'll just quickly add this on the end, because there was another thing I read, which was according to the Mental Health Foundation, one review found that there were studies identifying body dissatisfaction in children under the age of 6, and young adults from like 16 to 25 even identify it as the third biggest challenge causing harm to young people. Other ones being lack of employment options and the education system being terrible. Children as young as 6 feel like they want a different body. They're dissatisfied with the body they have.
Dissatisfied, yeah. There's two reasons for that. One is that they could actually have an actual issue. They could actually have a body disorder, you know, an actual illness.
Yeah, an actual illness.
They could actually be now starting to show an actual illness. Put those ones aside, and for the majority of these children, it'll be along the lines that they've probably started consuming more adult content than they really are ready for.
Right. So, or should be
exposed to. So they're seeing a lot more content that is meant for older kids. You know, so at 6, maybe they're seeing preteen stuff, where as preteen you're starting to see
have the puberty and
puberty and the girlfriends and the boyfriends and all that sort of stuff, and they're trying to consume stuff that is not meant for them yet.
That when a child as young as 6 is coming to you and saying they don't like their body, it would be very disheartening and very hard as a child for your parent to say to you, "You're 6. What do you know? You're fine. You know, go away." Like,
yes.
What do you know?
Can't be dismissive of it.
Yeah. It's something that obviously, if they're feeling it, You have to
address it.
So I think that's something that's very important, which I know as a younger child, because I experience that all the time. Even if you're an older sibling.
Yep.
Even if you're an older sibling, or you have younger cousins, or even people like children look up to you and they come to you with the problems.
Well, the first thing I'd do is actually find a comfortable place, sit down and ask why.
Why? Yeah.
Turn it around, ask why. Understand where they're coming from. It might not be the big, huge revelation you sort of thought it was. It might be a minor thing that you can solve pretty quickly. It might be
Children have imagination.
children have imagination. You know, like they might not necessarily understand. Like, it might be the start of puberty, and they may not necessarily understand what's happening.
Or it might simply be, oh, my mum did this, or my dad did this, and then that made me think this.
Took it out of context, or
Yeah, and
didn't
then
understand what was happening.
You can then, especially if you're a sibling, you can go to your parents and say, hey, by the way, this was happening, so...
Yeah, because you've gotten older and you're doing something now which is more mature, you're forgetting that there's other people who are not mature in the house, and they're seeing your actions and don't know what that means.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say?
No, other than you're beautiful, and you're beautiful.
No, isn't that sweet? Bye!
Bye!